everyone, this is Kevin from thechesswebsite.com. Today we're going to be looking at the Halloween Gambit. And the Halloween Gambit derives from the Four Knights game, which is not too common, but you may come across it a few times. I wouldn't recommend this too often, especially during competitive play, as white does give up a lot of material, and if black plays correctly, can have a very good game. But if you're just playing for fun or playing recreational chess, and you do come across this, it's definitely something that you can have in your bag of tricks. Is if black doesn't play correctly, he can be in a lot of trouble. So we're going to go ahead and go over the main lines and actually take a look at a game that was played in top level not too long ago, and kind of look how top level people approach the game. So it starts out, you can come about the four knight opening a few ways, but we'll just go over one common way, and that's pawn e4, pawn e5, knight development to f3, black responds, knight development c6, knight development, and here you see the move knight captures e5. And this does a few things. One, obviously, we are sacrificing our knight, and basically we are saying that we want to control the center. Obviously, after black takes, we are going to push our pawn up. This knight's going to have to move, and so we right away have center control with our pawns. We are down 2 points in material, but what we hope to gain from that is tempo and an advantage in attacking lines. So from here, black can basically move two places. He can move back to c6 or g6. We'll look at both of those real quick. If he moves back to c6, we're just going to continue to push up our pawns and put pressure. Black can move back to the space we left behind. Always keep in mind where your opponent is leaving space. And now we're actually going to push up our f pawn, putting more pressure. Black cannot retreat back to this c6 square, so he's going to retreat back to this g6 square. And we're now going to put pressure on this f6 knight, and he's now going to retreat. And as you can see, we have a lot of pawns here. We are a little overextended, maybe more than I would like to be. But black doesn't have many pieces out. He has one knight developed all the way from b6 here, and that's the only piece that he's moved. So we do definitely have a spatial advantage on him, and play from here will continue. We would move up. If black takes, we now have a strong pawn on this d6 square. Our queen is defending it. Eventually we're going to want to bring our knight to b5 and then to c7, forking the rook. Black cannot take this because we have our queen here, and this pawn is protected by our bishop, so he cannot take that right away. So eventually we're going to want to castle queen side. Obviously our king side is pretty beaten up right now, and so eventually we're probably going to castle queen side, bring our rook into the attack. Again, in this offense, you're going to want to attack a lot, since that's what we sacrificed a piece for. If you're going to play defensive, you might not want to play this opening. Anytime we can come in, bring our queen, attack the black king on e8, and any piece that moves here, we can capture that with our pawn. So just something to keep in mind when you are playing. Another move that black can make, we did look at if he went to c6. Another move he can make is simply g6. Where from here we're going to continue to push up, and if, as you see here, we don't have our f pawn in the mix, but we're going to go ahead and bring in our bishop into the action, attacking this f7 square, which is a huge weakness for black. Eventually we like to get our queen in here. Obviously now we can castle kingside. Our kingside's a little stronger. We have great center control. Black can always try to block us by getting his queen involved, basically sacrificing a piece to gain back some momentum here. We can go ahead and take that. Our knight is protecting. And then when he tries to challenge, we can go ahead and fall back, still attacking this f7 square. We're down 1 point material, but we do have huge protection in the middle. So definitely good attacking lines here. Now, it was discovered that if black plays correctly, that he can have a very good game. And it looks something like this. After white pushes to d5, instead of moving the knight here, black can actually come down with a great move, bishop to b4. Black's going to go ahead and give away this piece, and we'll see what happens here in the best defense. Once this is taken, black's going to take this pawn, and this knight is pinned, so he cannot take this knight, and so there's a pin on the king. Eventually this piece is going to be lost. So white can try to attack both pieces and put pressure. Black can come in and protect this knight. Obviously, if black tries to take this bishop, we have a discovered attack on the king, where we can take a piece and attack the king here. So from here, you may see white try to take this free pawn on g7, and now we can unleash many discovered checks here. This is a discovered check with the queen. If white tries to block here, we have another discovered check from the bishop. Once white tries to stop that, we can now bring our rook here. Obviously white was going to take that very soon. So as you can see, we have a lot of attacks coming. We can obviously take this bishop. So definitely a good defense for black here. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at a famous game played with this opening, and look how top players play it. So it starts out as normal with the four knights defense, offered up the gambit, accepted, and white pushes forward, black falls back, we push forward, and kind of the same lines that we said before. White pushes forward with the f4 pawn, and we start to chase, it looks like, and then we continue to push our pawns. This is a very aggressive pawn structure, as you can see. After black takes, we have our pawn nicely located on the d6 square. Black's going to try to free up his queen, attacking. He now has two attackers on this d6 square and is eyeing two attackers on this f4 square. We're going to totally disregard that and continue with our plan. We're trying to come to the c7 square and fork the rook. Black's going to go ahead and move his rook, and we're going to go ahead and bring another attacker on this a7 file and develop our bishop here. Eventually we want to move our queen and castle queenside to add another attacker with the rook onto the king. Black's going to go ahead and stop our attack with the bishop here, and we're going to go ahead and move our queen. Now we have a discovered check when we want to on the king if we move our bishop. So after the king moves, which he saw this discovered, looks like, yeah, we're going to go ahead and castle here, looks like, and then black is going to try to lock up this e file that we had bearing down on him. We're going to go ahead and put some pressure, sacrifice another piece. Again, we're sacrificing a lot of pieces to gain momentum. Looks like black's going to take, and we're going to go ahead and center right here on the c4 square, eyeing down the c7 square, which would be a brutal attack. We have a lot of pieces attacking black right now. We can bring our rook in. We've already castled, and black doesn't have a lot developed, so we're going to see what he does. He's going to move to a more centralized location, and then we're going to go ahead and check the king, and he's going to have to move to the e8 square. We're going to go ahead and move our bishop to safety and attack the queen, and he's going to move it and check us, so we're going to go ahead and bring the king back. Black's going to go ahead and put his his rook in safety. It looks like we were attacking, and we're going to go ahead and put the king in check, and after they block, we're going to go ahead and try to get this queen out of the way. And after the queen moves here, looks like we're going to sacrifice a piece, and you'll see why here in a minute. He's attacking our rook, so we need to free up this defender, and we want to get this queen out of the way for this brutal attack that we have coming up. And after he takes, it's just devastating from here. This pawn Looks like this GM took, and after black captures, obviously he can't capture with the king because of the rook. We have a devastating check, and after the king moves, he was able to come in with a queen for checkmate. So definitely devastating attack once black was unable to defend correctly. So you definitely can have a very good game if played correctly. So keep this in mind. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe. There's a lot more videos coming out. Check out the website, thechesswebsite.com. A lot of good stuff on there. And see you guys next video.